Good afternoon. Not on Mikey, Mike. Mike. My mic, okay. Welcome to the September 3rd, 2025 Historic and Architectural Review Board meeting. Membership on this board includes registered architect Joe Phillips, Nick Nikolov, architect, real estate brokers Diana Hodgson and Joseph McGavin, residents and business owners within the historic district Rodman Young and Connie Postupak, and Bethlehem's chief building official Mike Simonson. We thank you for coming and joining us in preserving our city's unique historic and architectural heritage. Mr. Phillips will describe the proposed changes as well as significant features of the building and describe the standards that apply to each project. Approved changes to district structures are based on Bethlehem's historic district guidelines and the Secretary of Interior standards. Applicants are invited to present their proposal. Board members will ask questions or hold discussions with the applicant. Project presentations are limited to 45 minutes and 5 minutes for comments from each visitor. By the way, there's a sign-in sheet there. If you haven't already, please. A motion is made and additional discussion may ensue before the vote is taken. The motion may approve the submission as made, approve with modifications, or deny with clear reason why the proposal does not meet qualifications. It may also be tabled with a list of clarifications needed to allow the board to make the COA recommendation. Recommendations made today may be acted upon by City Council at their next meeting, typically on the first and third Tuesdays. No work can begin until council approval is received. Any corrections or discussion on the August 13th minutes? If not, how about a motion to approve?
I move or make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
If there are no conflicts from the board, we will proceed with today's applications.
Let's just take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Ready?
We're ready.
I'm going to ask them to come up. Should we ask?
441 High Street.
How are you?
How are you?
Hi.
Hello.
All right. The applicant owner of the property located at 441 High Street proposes to replace the existing 3-tab asphalt roof shingles on the rear portion of the roof. Option 1 proposes GAF Timberline architectural shingles as the replacement shingle, and option 2 proposes GAF Slate Line designer shingles as the replacement shingle. New aluminum drip edge will be installed at the perimeter of the roof, and new copper chimney flashings and standard vent pipe flashings will be installed. The rear of the home where the proposed work is located incorporates simplified detailing, and the hip roof with the center gable dormer is visible at a distance from Milton and East Wall Streets and is not visible from High Street. I did write the character defining features. This is a grouping of homes from High Street that is absolutely beautiful, but all this work is on the rear, so you can read that. It doesn't really, as I said, the detailing at the rear of the home is very simplified, and there's currently asphalt shingles on this portion of the roof, and I'll let them talk about the options.
So I presented both options because of that limited visibility and access to the back or rear of the home from Wall Street. So right now, currently there's 3-tab shingles in the colored slate, which brought this sample in so you guys can see.
That's what's on it now. On the
Similar
back.
color.
I see.
We would just be going back with, if you went with option 1, the same color here. So at least the appearance of that stays rather similar. It is a different style of shingle, but coloring and appearance from a distance will remain the same. And then obviously with option 2, you guys are familiar with what you guys think. Wanted to present it to you guys and have your determination.
So why are you showing us two if the other one is closer? Just curious.
Because of the visibility from East Wall Street.
Yeah, there's not direct access behind these homes, but from East Wall Street, you can see this roof. The roof on the neighboring house is a slightly different color than this roof. It could just be age. I don't know. It's pretty close. But the roof to the right of it still has slate. It looks like this middle section, this house and its neighbor both have asphalt on it. And I think there's 5 units in there, 5 or 6 units in there. And the unit all the way to the left from the back still has slate on the rear, but these units definitely have asphalt shingles on them.
So in other words, the slate line is then going to be closer, representative, more of what's existing on the left and the right.
Right. It will be, if it's slate line, it will be up against real slate on the right-hand side. It'll still be up against its neighbor, which is asphalt. It looks like just a 3-tab shingle as well, that neighboring property.
Sir, may you speak a little bit louder?
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I apologize.
I'm missing everything.
I'm just saying that your existing shingles are asphalt,
Yes.
but to the right-hand side of you from the rear there's still slate on that portion of that.
The only visibility you can see of that roof is on the south side of Wall Street.
Right.
Not the north side. Miranda Bonsel's house is
Mhm.
elevated.
Yep.
and She has a 6-foot-high fence that
Yep.
you can't see over.
Yep.
And from the alley, since I am the center house, nobody can see it from the alley or High Street. So the only visibility is on the south side of Wall Street. If I may add, I have been in that house for over a half a century.
It's wonderful.
Wow.
That is part of me.
You know it well.
And I don't think I'll be there next year very long. I have disability and my wife passed away, so
I'm sorry.
I need to go to something more suitable. I basically would like to keep the costs down as much as I can. There's a 50% increase with slate over the architectural shingle, and at 50 feet, you can't tell the difference. Oh, I would like to also mention that a longtime member of your board passed away, Fred Bonsall.
Yes, may you rest in peace. Mhm.
He was my go-to man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was on the board when he was chair.
Yes.
When did he pass away?
Last year?
Oh.
What type of shingle does the neighbor have that has the asphalt shingles? Are those architectural or slate lined?
Those are also 3-tab.
Yeah.
So it would match that.
So we would be going with the architectural now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
As a cost.
$4,000.
It would be nice if the board does approve the architectural shingle. It actually would be nice to match the color of the neighbor. I don't know if you can, but
It would be-
I mean, they're going to be different because of age anyway, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, if we could match the neighbors as close as possible.
We could get fairly close. There's still going to be a distinct line. You would not be able to get,
Right.
especially with theirs being aged.
Right.
Roughly how old do you think that roof is next door?
20 plus.
Okay, so that's going to be coming up soon too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that is what's moving my idea, is that I believe that if the neighbor is going to be coming up to have theirs replaced, I would prefer that the board does a antique slate shingle.
The what?
This is option number 2. Yes, of course, I'm sorry. I am thinking that all of your neighbors will be eventually either replacing their roofs in the back, and just to have uniformity throughout the neighborhood, I prefer that, or I would encourage the board to vote as having the antique slate roof, option number 2. I know it is more expensive, but I think that as one neighbor starts to replace their roof, everyone's roof in the back will look the same.
Is that your motion too?
Well, it can be, but I don't, I think that's my motion, yes.
Anyone else have questions, concerns?
I just don't know. It's not in public right of way. I don't think it's in our purview.
Well, you can see it
You can
from a
see it.
public way, from Wall Street. That's this view right here. So that's the roof, that half.
Yeah, I mean, technically. Yeah, you're right. Technically, if it's visible, it's in our
It's
purview.
not in your face.
I just want to be sensitive to
I do too,
people's
Mhm.
needs.
yes.
You need to speak into the mic so he can hear you.
I just want to be sensitive to the needs of our neighbors.
And unfortunately, that part's not part of our,
That what?
that part is not part of the concern for
Yeah.
cost. It's not listed anywhere for us to worry.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to second Diana's motion.
1 second.
The motion is to add a second option.
To use the second option, option number 2, meaning using slate line shingles in the antique slate.
Option number 2.
And what is option 1
Option 1 is the timberline architectural shingle, which the first,
for the proposal? So we're adding a second option.
no, it's
on
it's
here.
here on, go to the second page, Nick.
Oh, the backside.
Should be on the front of that.
Right here.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable supporting this. We've approved timberline architectural shingles ad nauseum in the neighborhood. I don't see a need to. I just don't see why that is.
Speak into the mic.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see a need to make a special exception from precedent. We have approved timberline architectural shingles before on multiple occasions. I don't see a argument to not allow that right now
Well, I think that the slate that's next door to it,
for adjacencies.
Mhm.
You know.
Um,
and I wish they were the same price. We wouldn't have an argument then.
Have we approved the timberline have we approved the slate line?
We've approved slate line.
We have never approved timberline.
I do not remember approving Timberline. Have we, Joe? Do you remember?
I can't say that we haven't, but I don't remember the circumstance
Yeah.
of that
Yeah.
either.
Do you remember the one that the roof that we heard last month?
With the observatory, I thought the house that they're renovating and matching next to, like facing the co-op building. What is this back street, that back alley?
The Lawrence's house.
No. The on the Bethlehem co-op on Broad Street. There's a white back house, like
One that Campbell is doing,
right.
Yeah, the Campbells.
the Campbell property.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
garage
I,
that was.
I
being-
thought that was, that's all I'm saying, and that's on the street. But look, one
Well,
of five.
Well, no, you
I
haven't-
think that was matching a building that this was directly attached to and was part of the same property.
Correct.
I mean, this is a little different in that we have slate roofs
Mhm.
on that grouping of buildings. It's probably primarily slate. These two units in the middle have been switched to shingles, but I think Diana makes a good point about, the future as these buildings come in, what to do.
So we have a motion and a second on the table.
Yep, let me get there. All right. So there's a motion and a second on the table
Sorry.
to recommend a certificate of appropriateness for option number 2 as presented by the applicant, slate line in the antique, is it slate color or gray? Antique slate color. Motion's been made by Diana, seconded by Connie. Roll call vote. Joe,
Yes.
Nick,
No.
and Mike.
Yes.
So the motion carries unanimously.
Not unanimous.
Not unanimously, 4-1. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me. I would have gotten that right. Okay, so 4-1 for the slate line. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mhm.
Take care.
To take
Too.
care.
Bethlehem Historic District.
Okay. The applicant proposes to relaunch the plaque program with a newly designed brass plaque. The Bethlehem Historic District Association is seeking approval from HARB for the new plaque design. This is an effort to get the current 65 plaque owners to switch to the new brass plaques. If approved, the brass plaque will then be standard for new plaques going forward.
Yay,
Yay, there it is.
Yeah. It's real.
It's real.
It's real, I know. My name's Michelle Schultz. I'm the president of the board of directors and the chair of our PAC committee. Applicant Brian Carnahan has the audacity to be on vacation. So,
You said you're president?
and then Frank Feliciano is here as well, another board member who can help if there's questions I don't
Great.
quite know how to answer. We're at the very, sort of at the beginning of this process. And so are eager to kind of have a conversation with you all about how to kind of elevate and celebrate our historic homes in the neighborhood. I don't know how familiar everyone is with the plaque program. We've been able to kind of gather some history about.
Please tell us.
So our understanding, based on a couple news articles we've tracked down, is in the late 70s, early 80s, a group of people who in the neighborhood identified about 30 to 40 homes with significant architectural features, and then wanted to note them with a wooden plaque, and that plaque was designed and brought to HARB. And I think was designed by a HARB member back at that early point in time.
What time frame was that, did you say?
In the late 70s, early
Okay.
80s. And a number of these plaques then have a historic structure and a number, and that refers to a list from that period of time. And that list is so far not to be found, unfortunately. The neighborhood association then sort of continued to offer plaques. And so at this point, we have 65 wooden plaques. I'm sure you know many of them are in need of significant repair. So the board for almost a year now has been in a discussion and a process about how to go about managing the plaque program going forward, and what should we do about replacing plaques. The original wood plaques were made at no cost by a local neighbor and a woodworker. So as we started to think about wanting to not depend upon the volunteer effort for these plaques, we want to make sure that the procurement can happen going forward. So we looked at a wood replacement plaque, we looked at slate, an option of a slate option, and then we kept coming back to and feeling like our neighborhood, as one of the premier historic districts in Pennsylvania, really deserves a metal plaque very similar to Charleston, Moreland, all of the key historic neighborhoods you see across. Our board likes the oval. We, of course, could do any shape, but they really prefer the size and scale of the current plaque, which is what this represents.
So if on my house, let's just say that my wood one comes off, the new one goes on, then are the holes going to match to
That
the,
is the hope. I've done a random sampling, and everyone I've run into, the holes are 8 inches across. Now, these will be made custom. So if anyone, for some reason along the way, right, I don't know how many waves of plaques were made, and if there was then a variation from the original spec. But the original specification is 8 inches, but we can custom. So that can be.
because of not putting another hole
Exactly,
into the mortar?
Exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, so for the current plaque homes, that will be an individual custom order. And then going forward, for a new home that doesn't have a plaque, we will land on a
Standard.
standard.
So I have a couple questions. You mentioned that some of the plaques that are on some of the houses now have numbers associated with an unknown list.
Yeah.
Are those numbers going to remain on the new plaques?
So our hope and the board and the committee and the board's preference is that we move to language that's on the sample, and that we remove the number because we can't
Correlate it to anything, right?
There has been some interest, and I think that would, Brian talked about that. Some people currently have, and perhaps some might like to have, the family name if it's a relevant name and it's well documented. And I think, again, because these are going to be made custom, that can be individualized. We might like some guidelines. We might like some help around that to make sure that it's a historically significant name, right? We're not just putting
Yeah.
Joe Schmo.
Joe.
Or
Yeah.
the Jones family, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
But I think we really wanted to be able to indicate it, that it was the Bethel Historic District, and then also there was a historic.
No, I think it's a great sign. I just had a couple. So then you're not going to really. That was my question. So ultimately you'd like to get like a standardized sign, is what I'm assuming, long run, right? So would you then do like the name, if like, so would each one look like this, and then would they be authorized to put additional information on there, or would that be a separate plaque underneath?
Well,
Like if you wanted to add information about the location specifically.
exactly. I think a second plaque. So replacing historic structure would be the family name on this plaque. That's what we're thinking about offering. So you can have this
I
plaque,
see.
or you can replace on the lower section a family name.
Okay.
So you don't need to get a second plaque. Now, if you want to have additional information, and there are some homes that have significant historical
Right.
information, I think it would be awesome to have an additional plaque.
Like below it or something.
Exactly. Then I think that's an interesting question for you and, sort of for all of us about how to provide some good guidelines and perhaps some additional uniformity for that, because it would be nice to have, I think to have some guidelines around all of this. My personal goal, we have 65 plaques out there. We probably have about 10, maybe even a dozen additional homes that are interested that we've been kind of putting on hold. Not all of them have done the necessary research, but they're interested. And so I could see maybe we could get close to 75, maybe even 100 plaques if people got interested. I think people are going to get excited about having
Oh yeah.
a more elevated plaque on there.
Let me
I
ask
think
you
it's a beautiful plaque.
one more question. I
Yeah.
just got a bunch of little questions. So like the name that would be on the bottom here, whose name would be on the bottom? Would it be the current homeowners, the original
Okay.
home builders?
Exactly. So it'd be, so we know like there's a swath of.
The reason I asked that,
So you're
Weiss.
like, yeah.
the reason I ask is, would that confuse any male people or anything along those lines if
Oh,
it was?
good point.
Uh,
Mhm. Very good point.
yeah, I thought that.
What did
So,
he say?
so like, because if
It-
I'm
it
delivering
may
mail to
confuse the
the
mail
Smiths
man.
and it says the Joneses on the house,
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
They should
Yeah.
be, they should be
Right.
looking at the,
I know,
House
but
number, right?
I know, but I'm just saying that's why I was wondering if it was like a separate plaque with the name and the identification about the property that may go underneath, and these all stay standardized for each
Right.
house on the. On the
think-
list.
So the challenge will become, and we can think about this together. So using Connie as an example, if your current wooden plaque has a historic family name on it,
Mhm.
and we're gonna come and say, I guess you can keep that plaque, but we would encourage you to join the
New plaque.
new plaque program, but your new plaque will not allow you to have the family name. Like, that's, I think we do get to, we have an opportunity to decide the guidelines. And then
Mhm.
we can,
You know,
Are you assuming that that name on the current plaque is of historical significance?
Yes.
So why wouldn't then that reference be made on its own? Like, why does it have to be incorporated in?
it does not, we're just, I think there's maybe about a dozen. I'm not sure exactly how many current plaques have a historic name on the bottom.
And they, just because they couldn't go back far enough to the build date, is that right? So if mine was built in 1870 or whatever it is, they knew that it was Francis Weiss. So that's why, the historians who researched it.
Right. I think that, I don't know if it was tied to the build date. I think if we're not able to ascertain a specific build date, then we do circa, we do
Mhm.
C, right? I think it might have been, through that research, there was a family's name of significant, either in the Moravian history or the early history of Bethlehem, and people just preferred to have it on the plaque.
Oh,
We haven't found any material in our archives that talk about how that decision got made. So I don't know.
You know, in the age of being able to build a little computer database that you can then keep all this, why don't you take all the ones that have a number and rebuild some information about every one of them that has a number, and then go and add a number on to every other house, even if in the numbers you don't have a lot of information, but you still would have some information about the house. And then if people are going to do a walking tour in historic Bethlehem and they get,
Yes.
And
don't
then-
have the stuff, but we've done it. So we have a spreadsheet of the 407 structures in the district. And we have been doing research, and we have dated, not all, but many of the structures. And we actually will have an interactive map being available on our website very soon to provide some detailed information about each structure.
then why not?
What was
why
the
not go
number of
back,
structures,
instead of
did you say?
anything else, go back and have each one of
Trust
these be numbered again?
Well, we would need, homeowners are going to need to give permission. Right,
Sure.
And choose to do this.
And I'm not a techie guy at all. So,
Right.
but I'm just saying, like, I've seen them where you go to some areas and they have like a QR code and they scan them at the house. It's like when they do those tours
Yeah.
and they give you the history on the house, like attached to that spreadsheet. So if you did a walking tour, you can kind of view I don't know if that's even something you're entertaining. And it could always be a sticker you add on at a later date if.
I will say most of the homeowners, because we've run this through sort of a sample focus group. People are not interested in a sticker or anything of that kind on their historic plaque. We would need to kind of tackle that at different.
Oh yeah, I'm just suggestions. I mean,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think,
many of us, there was a group of us that were kind of, that'd be so cool, but.
Just so I get it for the minutes, how many structures did you say?
So.
400
in
and
the
some?
historic district, there's 407 structures.
407.
Based on, I mean, this is not an official survey,
Right.
but our survey, and not all of those are residential homes, of course.
Right.
Right.
Michelle, I have a couple questions. Okay, so the number on that plaque is 1870. Does that reflect the street number of the house, or does it reflect
Age.
the age of the
Yeah.
house?
That would be the date that the house
Was
was,
built.
that the house or the structure was built.
Okay.
We have identified a couple of errors in our current plaque homes. So we are going to have to go back and have conversations with those homeowners and say. you know,
Well, they should be interested in getting
right,
the
I
information
totally
correct.
agree.
Yeah. Okay, so will will the replacements be required or voluntary?
I'm assuming I don't think we can require, our hope is that we're going to offer a great product and really encourage people to switch over. We also, from the neighborhood association, we're working in terms of procuring and trying to get costs so it's manageable. And we've had a couple of neighbors offer some potential even of some scholarship money for some of our older residents, or, to kind of really make this,
So the residents would have to pay for the plaque.
yes.
And that plaque is, as it looks now, is approximately how much money?
So this sample we have is around 400.
Okay.
And we have another, we're trying to recommend it to go direct to a foundry and maybe have some additional savings by working directly with the foundry. And there is a possibility of that with the Franklin Foundry, or anyone familiar? You're down near Pittsburgh. But we've had a couple conversations, and they're excited and willing to sort of do a direct negotiation, and we might be able to get that sort of closer to 300 or even a little less.
Have you guys considered a cast aluminum plaque that's actually painted to look like a bronze plaque? I mean, I'm just from a cost standpoint.
Exactly. I mean, that's sort of why we're here. I think the homeowners, we've had a little neighborhood history committee, and the folks in that group liked the idea of doing, a real,
The real plaque.
Oh,
I think
that's
too-
the real deal. No,
Right.
don't get me wrong, but
Right.
I think too that because it is real, it's going to last, which is, excuse me, that's the goal. You know, you're not going to have to change this again. Like the wood ones didn't make it. I mean, mine did because it's under roof, but
And I think we'd like to work as the neighborhood association. We have a very, that we'd like to work on the cost on a case-by-case basis for people, you know. And I know, I've already heard from several neighbors that if this is a financial difficulty, you know, for some of our long-term residents or folks moving in or whatever, that we would like to, people are excited.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we have a, if the applicant's here, I mean, application number 4 tonight is exactly a similar case in that they want to add a plaque with what they feel is important information about.
Well, I
their-
think
their
that was one of
structure, so.
my thoughts is, I think my suggestion would be that you would have a uniform plaque for everyone who is interested in that plaque, just like what is down with Mike. And then if you wanted to add a family name or something else, then you would do exactly as Joe's is discussing, to have a second plaque. Because when you start changing ownership, then someone is going to say, well, what about this plaque with the Jones family on it? And
Yeah,
but even though that's the original
Right.
family, right?
right, it's the original.
But they
Right.
may not.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the new owner is not going to be able to get a plaque that has their name on it because this is done with
Correct.
the original owner name.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
you're right.
It's a historic, the deed in the history.
Now, the other question I had, and this goes back to something that we talked about in the last meeting, will retailers as well as homeowners be able to purchase this?
I think that would be great. I mean, many of our business
Yes.
buildings are, I think it would be really lovely to have the date of those buildings.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Tiger Hall, which we allowed someone to take
Thank you
off
very
their
much. That's-
sign.
Yes,
But we were hoping that there would be some way that they could say, this is Tiger Hall, and use it as their plaque.
right.
The
So-
Tiger Hall wasn't there when the building was built.
Agreed.
I mean, Tiger Hall, people know it but Tiger Hall was there because it was a men's store.
Right.
That's where the name came from. Whereas what we're talking about here is you're looking at the historic name of the property. I think that.
Well, I
rather
think
than-
that would make it even better in that it would do away with the Tiger Halls of the world.
Right. I mean, and the thing is, I think that the idea of being able to put a number on every one of them and then have a list that you can have a walking tour. If you're going to go and do this, you might as well update what you have and add everything else onto the list. Even if when the list just starts out, if you don't have all the historic research done, well, whatever research you have, you can put into that.
So we're developing and we love everybody's input. So instead of, it'll be actually tied to the address. So you'll pull up a map on like a street map on Google, you know, and you can then click on the address on the structure. There's an icon and up will come historic photos, the history of the property, any information we've been
Oh,
able
nice.
to glean. And then our hope is that we will crowdsource that. People will then offer and put into that walking, and that becomes then the walking tour of the neighborhood, of the whole district, right? I think it's really going to add some texture and
Sure.
depth and understanding.
Right.
But would you eliminate the concept of a number?
I don't think, I think because for me, I think the map is going to provide more than enough information.
The only problem that you have with the map is that as technology changes, does your map change? Whereas if you have, where you don't want to be in the same position that you're in now. I mean, you can have the map, but if you have the number and then you have a book or whatever, a list of this number, this information, yes, you can pull it up by the address. But then you don't look at, if technology changes, you're losing what you have. So you have something old tied in with what is new. If you're going to go redo it, you have a number.
But
Fine.
But
See-
John is, I mean, we've had this experience, right? So we had a list, we had a number, and we've lost all of them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
So I, my personal piece, and I mean, I do not have I'm a social worker, and I live in the district, I don't have a lot of, but I like the idea of the uniformity,
yes.
bringing connection within the
Yes.
neighborhood and having something
Yeah.
that really celebrates the historical significance.
Yes.
And then what we do beyond that is lovely. I appreciate the, and then we can look at sort of access. I think right now, digital access is broad
Expected, but it's also
and
expected.
yeah.
I mean, the address is not going to change, so I think,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
good point.
how can you go wrong with the
Right.
address?
I had a
What's not
question
going to
too.
change?
The address,
So
Well, the address is not going to change with the technology, man.
right.
Well,
do all 65 properties, are they part of the walking tour, or do they buy into this? Can I want, just say my house is an older house, I want to get a plaque to represent the age of it, but I don't want information. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you don't, right,
So I don't want to make this a walking tour where, like, if you buy a plaque, you're automatically involved in you're buying a ticket to the walking
there
tour.
really isn't a walking tour of the historic district neighborhood.
Okay.
Right? Like other organizations
Right.
have their walking tours and may be looking at certain homes or have, but yeah, the neighborhood doesn't formally do that. We will certainly recognize that people walk our neighborhood
Yeah.
all day, every day.
Well,
Right?
certainly.
Tourists come and are walking our neighborhood.
Certainly.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, there may be people who don't want a number on their house for that exact reason. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Like I'm a number, and I would prefer not to have this sort of number 4, which is hard to know what it refers to.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I'd rather have the date, historic structure.
Yeah.
Well, look, we don't want a bunch of people that can only access that information if they have a phone in their hands and walk around like a bunch of teenagers, noses in their phones.
Mhm.
It's great to have because it's a brand new world out there, and we need to appeal to young and the social media addicted amongst us. But if it's of significance, one should be able to access that information without Wi-Fi and without. What about the elderly? Are they going to be like
Right,
Well, when I
exactly.
go to when I go
scoot
to
around with
other-
phones?
Right, historic districts. I'm sort of surprised that Bethlehem doesn't have more books, right? That we don't
Yeah.
have our architectural homes books.
Well-
We don't have our larger pamphlets,
Yeah.
our paper
Right.
pieces just for that.
Yeah.
reason.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be
Yeah.
takers
I
if you
we
want.
want to sort of stay in our lane.
Yeah.
The neighborhood association has this plaque program and we're wanting to enhance it, but I would love to see written material.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I was going to comment is like I really love the plaque. $400 may put a question mark, especially if it's optional. I mean, that's the reality. Not everybody will jump, so if it's optional, and then the question is, well, how good is a program like that if it's not really implemented? So like it may be dead on arrival it may price itself out, or if it's so technologically dependent that it becomes some kind of mysterious numbers on streets that nobody knows what they refer to and where to go to look for your list. And what if the list is down? Then it becomes actually defacing buildings with numbers that don't match anything if the list is gone.
Well, we kind of have that now.
Yeah, well,
So it's there, so it's an
w-
It gets
exist.
back to
w-
wanting the plaque. I would want the plaque and the plaque program to stand alone.
to exist
It is-
independently.
It is yeah.
So
On the
Michelle,
design, I was going to suggest
Yeah.
that we actually have a lot, posts. I think they're blue. I mean, I'm just
Mhm.
wondering if there is sense in creating a closer or matching or singular identity to
Moravian
the
color,
Moravian color.
but there are other historic things that I don't see that crossing all the Ts.
And then
I
we
think
have
being individual.
color-coded histories, and I'm sort of like hesitant to have, oh, this is the blue signs, these are the green signs,
Yeah.
these are the brown signs, and then what, it becomes a mishmash of identity, and I think we're too small to support multiple. It's nice to adopt sort of like a sense of place. So that will be my secondary concern to the cost. Is the color selected because it refers to something present or not?
Well, can your grant program that subsidizes your sidewalks help with any of this?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that's and we're trying to get a better source to get the cost down, right? In terms of going direct with boundary. And then, yes, I mean, I think I'm confident that we can get over the hurdle of cost in a number of different ways. Because I think people are eager to bring some uniformity and sense of place.
You know who should be eager to do that for us? Our leaders and our administration who represent this district and project this district as the flagship.
But we're excited about
Bethlehem.
trying to offer more of a flagship.
So next time they put us on the brochure, I would like to propose that they own the same way they own the streets and the trees. They also own the signage.
I have a question. If a property has the home and then a second structure, okay, so our property, for instance, the second structure has become the carriage house.
Right.
So
A few of those.
are there?
Yeah.
Okay, so how does the carriage house get its own plaque? She does have a different address, but
That's a great question. I in terms of implementing the program, we would have a plaque committee. And some of these questions, I think, would end up going to the committee. I know that folks have a lot of pride in making sure that the plaque represents as closely as can be researched the date of the structure. And so if the carriage house was built at the same time, you might make a case that doesn't need its own plaque. Some of them are built a year or two late, it might be built a little later, and if it has its own address, then is it not its own residence? Yeah, that would be an interesting one to kind of, if it's more just like truly acts as a garage and not a residence.
right. And then it's a garage.
Then it's a garage.
Right.
And we're not putting plaques on garages, even if they're historic, I don't think.
Really? What if John Adams wrote
Slept there.
a great piece of
Or the Liberty Bell sat
that
there
per-
overnight, right?
Like in
I
Allentown.
think we should leave
in
that to the
in
historians
department
and the
store.
committee.
Yeah.
right? Like this is not for us.
But yeah, a lot of stuff. So like, just so you're not coming in front of us, each property is not coming back in front of us. So like, is your proposal to like give us a list of 65 properties that qualify for these standardized plaques, and then we can just kind of do a administrative approval as they come in and
Good
want to
idea,
do them, instead of having 65 different people come
Right.
in?
I don't exactly, I don't know how, I think it's been I don't want to say.
Well, I'm not asking for an answer right now. What I'm saying is just
Right, that's
just
one of the
to think, that's one of the questions. If you come up with a standardized sign, it's like, let's just say that this is your standardized sign, and you give us this, and you leave a list of 65 properties with the city. Anytime any one of those homes wants a sign, I could just say, okay, you don't have to come in front of the board. You don't have to go through all that. You just, as long as you meet
I think
The
that would be
installation.
the installation requirements,
Right.
you know?
Right. And then for new properties, if we come to agreement on if they've done enough research, right, how can we streamline that process?
Right.
For both sides.
Mhm.
I have another question. So has the public been given a general, like a forum for input in your process, or could we facilitate by going up for an approval for appropriateness? I want to make sure the public sees this
Right.
as as a result of an inclusive process, not something you guys
Exactly.
did and administratively approved without the public hearing about it.
Right. And I think, exactly, so we've been sort of working with our committee and then my board, right? And we've then shown a few other folks, but we didn't want to get ahead of ourselves without coming here and having the conversation. Like, I don't want to get people excited about this plaque and then find out that it's not appropriate, right? So now we're at this place of, yes, how do we sort of?
Yeah, I mean, if you put in an application, that will go out on the city website and people will be able to see it. And
By Facebook.
yeah, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of ways to go about this, but obviously what we want to, once you get a standardized, I think next steps would be probably for you to get a standardized language for these and then a list of 65, I think, and then we could kind of just, I hate to use the word rubber stamp, but kind of just move them along in the process as they come along. And
I thought we discouraged serifs.
No,
Or was it
Serif.
sans
It
serif?
is, yeah,
sans serif,
Serif or sans serif?
serif is encouraged.
yes.
So then do we, as a board, want to put our approval on that as a
Well, I think
standard?
they've got to come back to us exact what they want to do. They're not sure what they want to do yet.
I think it's okay for us to like approve this sign in theory. And then once they figure out exactly what they want to do with this sign, I think it's a fantastic sign.
I do
just-
too.
I don't want to have 65 individuals come in for different
Agreed.
signs.
I mean, it seems to me they're here for our input tonight,
Okay.
right? And
Yep.
Is that
just
right,
to be
Michelle?
I would
We're
include
as new at this
details.
as, you know, we're at the beginning of,
Would you mind specifying also next time the screws? Or- I
No, the
mean,
type of screws that you're going to,
Oh,
type
the
and
type of-
type and finish.
You have suggestions?
Well, it's
Is it going to be a black head or a gold head? Stuff like that. You
well,
just-
this is brass,
Mhm.
so it can't be. What's the galvanic action table? It can't be stainless. It can't be brass and copper. Do they work? Well, there's a good galvanic reaction. I don't know. It's online.
It's-
Does
the
it
guy,
make sense?
the guy who doesn't want that to be technology dependent. I mean, there are actually, aesthetic fasteners. I mean, some of them look like stars or whatever,
Flowers or something.
flowers or whatever. So, I mean, there's different ways to do that. So I think that's all Nick is saying. Are you looking to just run to the hardware store and get a Phillips head screw and screw it in, or is it going to be?
I'm sure whoever makes your sign will be making, the screws.
Supplying the
This is a
hardware.
factory question.
Yes, yeah.
See, that's why I think that
I have a.
before
answer
you
for
can approve what it is that they're going to do, we don't want to approve everyone that comes in. But I think that their committee needs to determine, are they going to put a name on it? Are they going to put a number on it? Is this what it's going to look like? Am I correct or?
What I would suggest they do is maybe come in with 3 options. That sign is option A. Maybe a sign is option B with the name. Maybe a sign is option C with something else on it. And then they just let us know when they're coming in what sign option they're going to go with. Like we'll approve 3 options of signs, and then that they can choose, the homeowner can choose, whoever wants to choose what sign they want, but we'll already have pre-approved options. I think.
So I think that's a good idea, Mike, because otherwise some people may not. How do I want to say this? Some homeowners will just put it on the side of the house and they don't understand where it has to go, where it has to
Right.
be installed in the mortar kind of thing.
Right.
And, and Michelle, you're probably going to have a location
We
on,
indicate from the prior program a location
okay.
in the material
Okay.
provided. We don't have installation guidelines. Those were never done. I would like to see that done.
That's easy because we kind of have that in our
Yeah, we kind of have
guidelines.
sign installation.
Personally, right, we would need some help with that. In terms of in the mortar only.
Mhm.
I don't know about homes that are,
Wood
Sided.
siding.
Mhm.
so we can come back with our options. We can come back with a
This
spreadsheet
won't
of the
take
current
aluminum.
65 block homes and their dates,
And galvanized.
and if they have a name.
Because of the bronze.
We don't necessarily need to know
Let's-
whether or not, and can we get a blanket
Um,
approval and then we can go and advertise the program? Like we can't really sell these until
Yeah.
it's gone through this.
Okay, say that again so everybody hears that,
Yeah.
because
So
they
we
were,
can come back with our 2 or 3
However many options you, yep.
options, right? Our spreadsheet of the current plaque homes, the dates, and whether or not they have a name or, what they currently have and then what they can choose from. And that grouping, we could do a blanket approval for.
Mhm.
And then for new homes,
You
we
would put,
have 3 options.
Well, I would assume a new home would first be vetted out by the Historic District
Right.
Association. So you would vet it out, and then I think it would just be a matter of you bringing it in front of us with the option, similar to like the administrative approval, like, hey, we vetted this house out. This is the option.
homeowner would come and do that.
right, in the zoning office. They would not have to.
You wouldn't have to come into here.
Okay.
All right, so that's what we're trying to,
Right, that's what we're, exactly.
Yeah, so we're not vetting these historic districts out. We just have the area that it covers. So you're actually doing
So they would sort of.
the
go to
groundwork.
zoning office and they could get
up an approval.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
each one of these plaques that you're coming to, that you're going to hand to them after the original is done, are going to match
Yes,
in, okay.
right.
And I would just, this is just my suggestion. I don't know how the board feels. I think it should say Bethlehem Historic District, the year, and then the only thing that would really change is that
Exactly.
part on the bottom,
Right, and that's what
whether
they
it's a
say.
name or
Always
whether
the
I
same,
can't read it
exactly.
from here, historic structure.
This has been very helpful. Anything else we could,
Just to piggyback on what Mike was saying, is just make sure that you have instructions for how a process for a new home, and then have
it's really 2 applications, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's sort of the current group
Yeah, we treat them as we could treat them as the original 65, and then
and then a process for the new group. I think that might be something.
as well as installation.
Why is it any different if it's existing or new? It's the same plaque that's got to get installed the same way.
Well, she's going to they were going to do the
It's
first
just a matter,
65.
well, that's fine, but the plaque
Yeah,
is the
but the
same.
plaque is the
So
same.
I'm
I
having
agree.
a problem understanding why it's any different.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good point.
I think we're overcomplicating
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So,
making them working too hard.
so then I guess I'll try and make a motion here, just to table this, but with these conditions. So to come back with the multiple options for the sign, a sign installation instructions or height, installation, mortar, all that stuff. The list of 65 to start. And am I missing anything else?
No,
Just the plaque is presented,
And the plaque is,
black background.
yeah, the plaque's approved as presented, and so the plaque itself doesn't need to be changed. And then just with those options in installation method and
And we and
what-
if that's
installation method, yeah.
right. And we understand the verbiage may change if you're going to put the name on or,
Mhm.
The lower verbiage, right, that's the option.
Yep.
That's the verbiage change.
I'll second that.
yay.
All right. So a motion has been made and seconded to for the applicant to come back to HARB with
Wait a minute.
multiple.
We don't want to make a motion. We want them to table it themselves, right?
No, Mike did.
No, I
table it.
tabled it. I made a motion to table it
Did
so
make a
that
motion?
they make
Yeah.
those corrections and
table
then we
it,
can
okay.
approve it
Oh,
All right. All
at the
right.
next meeting.
All
Hold
right.
on.
To table.
I would like to add.
Yeah, sure.
How does that work if I want to add to his motion?
Just tell me. I'll
Well, you
add it
just
with-
tell him and he can say it's all right.
He can- I would like a consideration with a different or same outcome of the color of the and design of the plate in view of existing signage that's already present on the streets in the historic district. Namely, the Moravian street signs on Wall Street, on Church Street, and
The brown ones?
I thought they were.
The
Yes.
street signs are
yes,
brown and white.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I want you, I would like someone to say, yeah, that's a good compliment that matches. It's not odd. I would like to take your stand on it or your opinion.
Okay, so a motion has been made and seconded to table this application and requesting that the applicant return at a future HARB meeting with multiple sign options, a list of the 65 existing plaques, installation instructions / methods, including fasteners, and then options for color in view of the color of existing signs, such as the Moravian signs throughout town. All right, so this vote is on tabling it with those requests. Motion's been made and seconded. Connie?
Aye.
Diana?
Aye.
And Joe?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
I think it's a great idea. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Yep.
Getting there.
Yeah, you
Getting
are.
there. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it
This
is.
has been incredible.
If you get, what I also suggest in the meantime is if you get renderings, if you want to send them over to us earlier and we could
Perfect.
comment
Yeah.
on it before you come back
Oh, that's a good idea.
or have them pressed or anything like that,
Yes.
we don't want you to go through that
Yeah,
far.
yeah, no, we won't. We'll make sure this process is done before we do much more than a sample.
All right.
Thank you, Michelle.
Our next
We
applicant
have one
here.
more here.
One more.
Two items,
Two
one
more.
more location.
Just make sure you sign in there before you come on down.
So item number 3, the applicant owner of the property located at 36 East Wall Street proposes to remove the slate roofing that fronts on Wall Street and replace it with GAF slate line shingles in the English gray slate color. New copper chimney flashings will also be installed. It's a 2-story home constructed in the 1860s, has a cross-gabled roof penetrated by a brick chimney on the left. Gutters are half round and downspouts are round, both are copper. The 3-bay facade below the roof line is smooth brick with window openings containing 2/2 double hung windows with heavy heads and sills. Second floor windows are fitted with louvered operable shutters, and the first floor windows are fitted with paneled operable shutters. The entrance door is asymmetrically located to the right of the facade, is accessed by marble steps with wrought iron handrails. A shallow hood is located over the door and transom opening and is supported by brackets on each end that align with the wide door jamb trim. The 4-panel painted wood door has radius top panel. So there are 2 applications. This is number 3, and this is to replace slate roofing with GAF timberline, GAF slate line shingles in English gray color.
Correct. So in 2007, we were here and we replaced the back of the house because it was just falling apart. We were able to take care of the front because the sun doesn't hit the front as much as the back. But we're at the point now that we were told that we need to replace it. But it's just too expensive to replace this. We've just tried so hard, but it's actually sliding down. So we're going to put the same shingles on that we did in the back, front, the same that the neighbor across the street has. So it's just going to be all.
Now, Mr. Murray, did you, on the back, did you use the English gray slate color?
No, we had the English place, but originally it was the antique white. So that's the actual one that we're going to be putting in. That was a mistake. Thank you for bringing that.
So it's the antique slate color that you're proposing.
Pardon?
You're proposing the antique slate color.
Antique white, 'cause that's what we
Not
have in the
white,
back.
slate,
No,
antique slate?
No,
What color is it?
antique white.
Okay.
So it's shingle, antique white. Shingle? not shingle,
Well, it's an asphalt shingle, but
That-
I think GAF, it's,
It's antique slate. It looks white, but like
Oh, okay.
whitish, but it's slate. You're gonna match the existing, right?
Right,
The
so
new's
we're
gonna match
the
you.
existing part of the back house, which is the exact same one that our neighbor across the street has. So everything will be uniform.
all right, so it's going to be uniform and it'll be the antique slate
Right, we
color.
don't want
Oh,
that
okay.
to be-
Well, that's what, okay.
Easy enough. I'll make a motion to approve the replacement of the front roof with the antique slate, JF slate line shingles to match the rear.
I second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote. Connie?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
And Nick?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously for the shingles. Item number 4. The applicant proposes to install a 12-inch by 16-inch bronze plaque on the front facade to commemorate Joseph H. Traeger, is that Traeger, and his contributions to the city of Bethlehem. We'll let you tell us more about.
Yeah, so we bought the house in 2003, it just moved to another part. And we put it back, and we started doing research, and found out that the gentleman who owned the house, named by Joseph H. Traeger. And the reason why I don't know who it is because we found his sign. up in
Oh,
there.
fun.
Right, so he had a store right across from Sun Inn.
Mhm.
And we also served at Gettysburg. Battle of Gettysburg, there for twice. So in those days, we upped every 7 or 8 days, so we were there for the entire battle. He also was very important as far as the business district in Bethlehem. And also, he was very important. He also had, he was on the, not a Moravian, but I'm just going to say on their board. And so we were very influential in doing that. So we had so many people who were outside asking, especially during Celtic Fest or during the Music Fest. So we thought we would just have something put up. Now, the group that does that is in Florida. So they gave us a facsimile of what we're going to ask for. It's bronze. We tried to put as much information down that would fit everybody's interest.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one who built it. Actually, the house was back a little bit earlier than 1860. It goes back to about 1850. We used the Moravian College. They were fantastic. They had so much information. We used the Bethlehem Library. They had using the Bethlehem Globe Times, the Morning Call, the old papers that went back that far. But the most interesting was the fact they served the Battle of Gettysburg. And how many people in our area served, especially on our block. Now, our house on our block is either the first or second oldest one. So we have the federal style, and there are 7 federal styles. Ours is the first one. And you can look at the other ones, and they're just a little bit different, very Victorian, where ours is very, very I don't wanna say stark, but there's no
Angular.
fancy
Yeah.
anything, which is so Moravian.
Mhm.
I don't want to sit here and keep it.
Yeah.
So basically, it's actually the sign we were able to reduce it to about 1412. And so where would we put it was, and you have a picture of our house, where we originally have the old, which I did not know they were going to be replacing it until tonight. But the sign, the date of the house, we would take that off and put the plaque there.
So you're not going to go and have the second sign
Well, we
that
didn't
they've.
even know about that until tonight.
Well, would you consider it?
Probably, I don't know. I don't want to say because I haven't talked to my wife yet. But, you know, we probably maybe just keep the same one we have and just leave that. I don't know.
This is the wood one, right?
I'm sorry.
It's wood.
That's wood. And as I said, it's bronze and not aluminum. We looked very similar to the Moravian signs, except for that their placards are obviously much older than the ones we have. They've been out for a long time. Although we did find one on Main Street, Hotel Lafayette. They have a sign out there, and that's just on slate.
So then you have not had, this is just a facsimile?
Right, that is exactly what it would look like.
Okay, but you have not ordered it and?
No.
Okay,
No,
all right.
very expensive.
Do you have the mounts figured so that they're only going to go into the mortar and not in the brick?
I have been down here before and I knew that was going to be a question. So I did talk to them, and because our mortar lines are so varied, that they're not straight across. So they're not like 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches. They're varied because the house is so old. So they would say that if we would send them a template where the mortar lines would be, that they would try to match the 4 schools. The size would be about 1412, not 16.
And then did you compose this?
Yes.
Yes.
We sat down, my wife and I sat down, took all the information we've had, and put it together. So we thought, and the man also had 3 wives. And 2 of them died in the house, the other one died in Philadelphia. And he was went to New York a lot, went to Philly a lot. And our front stones, front stairway, if anybody looked at it, they're all marble.
Yeah.
Because we have a marble sill, so it would have been marble. And we had figured that with all his business in the ports in Philly and New York, we would have gotten some of the marble and brought it back up.
Why wouldn't you put it to the right of the front door rather than removing the date plaque?
So, so facing it on the right-hand side, so if we're facing the,
Mhm. If you're facing your home.
yes, you know what, because the board approved 7 years ago a light, which we are going to finally put up. And so it's going to go there, and that was approved by the board.
Where is
Well, then that
it
works
going
well,
to
then
go?
you
How
can read
high
it.
up is it going to be?
Since you have your picture there, I'll show you. That's going to go actually right about where the door. It'll go right there. In fact, I can't, I don't have the right glasses. That's just a little bit higher. It's going to go right about there. And that was approved.
How big is the light?
About 20 inches, 24 inches. But now that was approved
And that's going to be mounted into the brick?
on the brick, yeah. And we already took care of that, so we know that the supports have to be in the mortar. So we're having special iron supports made.
Okay, so I just have one question for you. You heard Michelle, most
Can you
of,
leave? I'm sorry.
okay, so their plaque is kind of doing what you're suggesting, and if I understood how they're going to branch that off, is they're going to have the history available to people so that they can,
On their plaques?
not
No.
on their plaques, no, but through technology somehow. I don't think they've worked through all of that, but that would be that's where they're headed, so that everybody kind of knows who built the house, when it was, and having verbiage like
So what it
this.
would be an oval plaque that, and the date of 1860, when it was built, would be in the center. Bethlehem Historic Association, I think, is at the top, but at the bottom, you would have, as a homeowner, you would have the option to say the Joseph H. Traeger home.
I wouldn't say yes, I wouldn't say no. I didn't know about that.
Okay,
So,
fair
I
enough.
put it back there.
Uh-huh.
And we thought just giving the information was like, the Joseph, who the heck is Joseph Traeger?
Right,
And
right.
That is why we put it. So we just, like I said,
The bottom is what they're proposing as a sign.
thank you.
I think this is very similar. There's some plaques on the brick walls down by the Moravian church, right? I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but
There's
just,
going to be a
We try to do it that way.
World Heritage plaque there. Well, I guess it's already there.
Yeah.
I'm just asking
it's the
because
same
of
thing.
having plaques all over, you know?
No, as I said, I have no idea. So I'm looking at yours and it's like, well, that basically wouldn't answer who Joseph H. Traeger was.
That's true, but the point is that, you know, the concern I have is removing the date plaque, which is what they're looking at having to become and continue to be the standard for the historic district, to remove that totally and put this plaque in its place. I would want
You
this,
understand. Like I
I'd
said,
want to see something that is,
uniform.
I would want to see something that keeps the date plaques as well as what you want to put on.
Well, I mean, if it's just simply that we would get a date, just get the date.
Well, the date is on this plaque, but the thing you have to remember, Joe, is I think everyone agrees or would agree that you would want to see some consistency, but this is not mandatory. So no one has to do any of this at all. So they don't have to put a plaque on their building. So it's kind of hard to force that.
But I just,
But
now that you
he's saying
know,
remove the existing plaque.
Probably disagree with that. So signs on buildings fall within the purview of HARB to issue
Right.
certificates of appropriateness.
Mhm.
Right.
Now, if we don't issue a certificate of appropriateness for a sign, will the building department go out and take that? I don't think so. Like, I don't know what that it means for signage,
Mhm.
but like, no, if we don't, I think it may be voluntary to put, but it is not I mean, it's not.
It's not what I said at all, if that's the way it came out. If there's a sign, it has to come before us. My point is, we would like all these 1860, 1870 plaques that we just reviewed to look the same, but that is a voluntary program. So there's no one forcing anyone
I understand
to
that.
put them up.
And-
If
but
they
I-
The
do,
point is to say, no, don't remove what you already have. Because he's coming in and wanting us to approve
Well,
him removing the
He can
date
go.
plaque.
I think he could go home tonight and take it off if
I
he
was gonna say,
wanted.
he can go home and take it off now. It's nothing we can do about it, but.
Well, that is true.
right, the reason for my question was because, you know, now this is where we're going to have to start education. If someone else comes to us and has this request then too,
I realize that.
because not everybody does know about the BHDA. Yeah, BHDA, their initiative,
Right.
basically. So now that you're aware of it, do you still want us to approve?
You know what? Like I said, I didn't know. I would appreciate it because we gave all the information. It's a unique house. How many people have the information like that we do? I don't know.
I don't know what you all heard during that presentation, but maybe it's what I wanted to hear. But I mean, I think there's going to be different levels of signs. I think we agreed that we didn't want that oval plaque to be inundated with a bunch of information. So that information would be very limited to the date, Bethlehem Historic District or, historic structure or a name. But I thought we were also talking about there could be a secondary plaque if, just like we're talking exactly like we're talking about here, that could be on the building. Now, whether you have to have both of them or not, I don't know if that falls under our purview, but
I don't think the BHDA would do that one though, the second.
no, I don't know that they would do that, but I think what Mike was getting at is come back to HARB with the options for signs that you think are appropriate for these historic structures so that we have a guideline. And maybe this becomes a guideline that they don't have to come to HARB to get approval. If it's, I mean, this is a very classic bronze plaque. It has the fasteners on I was talking about, the florets or whatever you want to call them. I mean, the guidelines that they come up with and HARB approves for administrative approval could be, it can't be any larger than 12 by 16 because you don't want the building covered with, and it needs to be bronzed with a bevel edge and, an 1/8 border around it
Yeah, whatever it may be.
with floret fasteners.
Okay,
So
okay, go ahead.
We did realize that this is a first, and so we try to do it keeping in mind what we have seen in other homes in Philly and New York. This is what they do.
Right.
And so, and as the gentleman just said, I mean, if HARB's gonna come back with 2 or 3 different type suggestions, this could be another suggestion, but we're trying to stay that we would give people enough information about the house. And
So there are several things, right? Like the style is matching, it's consistent. I think it is architecturally complementary to the house. Like I have no problem with that at all. I would like for us, I wonder what's the way for us to encourage you to coordinate with the neighbors, with the BHDA, Bethlehem Historic District Association. You're probably a member of it. People who actually have met a bunch of times and have talked about all of these things, so that what you do and what they do is not down the road at odds. So they know about you and you know about them. So I think that is just what good neighbors do.
Good
But in
point.
terms of style, color, proportion, I have absolutely no concerns. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Nick 100%. The style, everything, it's relating. The thing is now we've heard yours and the previous one, so we just don't. I don't know. Let's say 5 other people come to us with something else for their home. So, Connor, how are we going to?
I don't think you're ever going to avoid that. I think what Mike was trying to get at is to come up with some options that could be approved administratively. But I think you can always have people that come in with something different and they have to appear before this board if they're going to do something different. So I think that's what this applicant is doing.
I totally agree with you there.
So this is perhaps relevant, not to the application, but to the topic, to the issue. Can anybody be the solicitor of information to put up on their own house? Like significant facts, events that relate to the history of their home. Should there be a group of people that a second pair of eyes, or can I sing praise to a past resident of my home without, just for my own personal kind of
I think it's a
aspiration? Is
valid
there-
question.
Huh?
And I think it's a valid question. And I think Michelle mentioned while she was with us that there is a group of residents who do history checks.
Well, so respectfully, theoretically, perfectly theoretically. We don't know about, the person. So which side of the war did that person fight on? What about why are the first two wives of no significance and no names, right? Why are they not really commemorated? And why is one of them commemorated, right? Like there are these present day sensibilities that are treacherous to like you cannot really tell a story completely objectively, but you have to be inclusive in some fashion. And I'm wondering if when you're putting together a summary of historical significance to be shared in the public domain, shouldn't there be like a 1 or 2 step process that invites other people to chime in for you to determine what's important and what not? But still, somebody may want to say, well, actually, I know something, that is not kosher, or is not palatable, or someone can say that's particularly of importance. Like, for instance, you mentioned that is one of 7 and perhaps the original Federalist style architectural building in this historic area. That is huge. Oh, perfect. So for me, that is huge because it is educational,
Right.
and right, and it's about the building, not about the wife or the son, right? Who for some reason, was right. So does it make sense? Like I'm just trying to put shed light on the kind of multiple interpretations that a text may have. That perhaps we can hedge against the wrong interpretation by involving more people in putting together the text. Does that make sense?
I can't bite my tongue anymore. I think we're way overthinking this. As long as it's not offensive, I mean, I agree to that. But I mean, there's all sides that everyone wants to be told. And, there's this thing called property rights. Why would I want anyone to tell me what I want to put on my house, what history I want to portray, as long as it's not offensive? Like if I want to leave out my first 2 wives, why should anyone else care? I mean, am I wrong? I'm just,
No.
maybe I'm feeling a little ornery tonight or something. And just saying, but
I don't think that a plaque like this is something that you're going to have that's going to go administrative. I mean, trying to decide.
No,
I'm not saying someone shouldn't review the text
Yeah,
for
right.
being offensive, because there's just certain things that
not
aren't
what I'm
right. But
talking about.
what it includes as far as how much history it gives or doesn't, or how many wives the guy had, or whatever.
We thought that was interesting.
Well, I'm not saying it's not interesting. I'm just saying I don't think someone should be able to tell you whether you can include wives number 1 and 2 or you just 3.
But
Well,
the point
okay,
is
okay,
that
okay.
I think that this type of plaque, every one of them should come to us for review because they're all going to be different.
Well, not only that, it's basically a sign.
It's basically what?
A sign.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we review signs for the font, for what it says, for all of that stuff. So this is exactly that. And we do have a regulation for business signs. This is new to us.
I knew that.
It's yeah, I know. And I the only other sign that I know is on Market Street. The investment guy, I think, has a plaque for his business, and it's bigger than this. It's his business.
So
It's
it's
his
his business,
business
not-
sign,
No.
right? It's not this.
Yeah. The zoning code allows for 12 by 12 signs to be attached to the house.
So then-
when they're like identification,
So would he need zoning relief for this?
so he might need zoning relief.
Okay,
for
that's
this.
good to know.
Because the reason I know this particular is because like on the south side this is citywide, but on the south side where the student rentals are, you'll see those like A's on the house or
Yeah,
whatever they
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
They're all 12 by 12, and we specifically have an ordinance that can't be bigger than that.
For rhythm and style
Just
and
for
recognition.
multiple reasons, you know what I
Right,
mean? But
right.
but I know attached, if it's an advertisement, then it's totally different. But this is not an advertisement. This
Right.
is
It's a history story.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know if it would necessarily need relief, but I know it wouldn't make the sign guidelines initially.
Actually, it sounds like, yeah, it's history lesson.
So, Mr. Murphy, could you get all of this on a 12 by 12
You
sign?
know what, now you just said that. I know they said 14 by 12 is really tight. I probably would have to cut one of the wives off.
There you go.
Honestly.
It's always the woman who has to go.
Maybe two, maybe two. I mean, you're talking about 2 inches, so you may need 2 wives.
Good answer.
You know,
That was perfect.
and again, you're laughing.
So
Right,
women, just for the record, women has historically been crossed out of the record.
I don't,
I mean, we can
I know
see
we're
What
making
we're
fun
doing
of,
here is arguing, why should I?
Okay, can I
Because-
make it, can I,
and
okay,
the
let's,
argument I'm making, just so I'm clear, had nothing to do with gender. It had to do with a piece of information.
okay. Okay, how about this? Would you mind
We
talking to
celebrate
Michelle?
the merchants, but
I
not
don't know who she is.
Well,
The what?
but she's really nice. She's very
the
knowledgeable.
other ones.
Can the two of you
And across the
maybe
street,
work
a
together?
woman Funded a
I-
school.
Excuse me.
So that history is not lost.
Right. It
you want
had
me-
nothing to do with a particular piece. You know what I'm saying.
There.
You know what I'm saying.
Okay,
I
all right.
wasn't trying to cut out
Okay,
wives
what
or
I'm,
women.
what I'm
so.
asking of this gentleman is maybe he could talk with Michelle and come up with maybe something. Like I said, she's brilliant. She's got this down pat as far as the signage. Maybe she can help you just clean up some of the verbiage if you do have to shorten it in order to
Well,
get it.
the other thing
Sorry.
is, and
Well, then, yeah, because then we may disagree with what she doesn't like.
Well, she's just going to give you an opinion. You don't have to go with
Right.
it.
So,
A guidance, basically.
basically, it's like I said, I didn't know she.
That's right.
I had no idea they were doing this.
Yeah.
So it is bronze.
Mhm.
We could shrink it to 12 by 12. That's, I don't want to cause any problems with that. We may have to adjust it.
Mhm.
It just, it costs me money to have them come up with a new prototype, even on paper.
the other thing I just wanted to say before I forget it, but it's like maybe 12 by 12 is not the right size. So for a historic structure to get the pertinent information, it could be 12 by 14 or 12 by 16. And maybe in collaboration with BHDA, you come back and say, we really think that the appropriate size is 12 by 14 or 12 by 16.
Okay,
Can
so-
then we then go to zoning and say for a
Here-
historic property?
Here's where I'm
Okay.
kind of landing with this is I think the sign's appropriate. Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with the sign itself. That aside, I'd like to just, I know it's not like you have the sign ready to pull the trigger on order right now. So what I suggest we do is let me take this back to the zoning officer in the time being and just make sure we can get an accurate read on the sign size. Okay.
So here's my take on this too. My dad was a printer. He had to scale everything so that you could read it. You don't know from this printout if you can even see all that verbiage on a certain
And
sign
I don't.
because it's not to scale.
Right. So, because I don't have the 12 by, I don't have it here. That's going to cost $1,000.
Mhm.
And,
So we shouldn't even make a motion to approve because.
I don't think we are, no.
I was going to make a motion to table. Just I want to
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah.
back to first to the zoning, see what the appropriate sign size is. Okay.
Right.
Once we get the sign size, I think the sign's appropriate as designed. But once we find the right size, then see if Mr. Murphy can fit the sign into that, size.
Right.
I
And you can read it.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to have him have to go to get a variance of the sign. We approved the sign at 12 by 14, and then he's got to go get his zoning
Correct.
variance.
I don't want to
use
set
the
him up
sign.
for a $500 zoning variance to
No.
get a sign.
No. I'll just, and we also were very aware of that too, because you had said that
Yeah.
before, you're not sure as far as the size. So, I'll wait for you to let me know.
And I'll look
And then-
into this.
Because as I said, it costs me.
I don't know if there's
Sure,
money to have them
To do your prototype.
I don't-
produce another one.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I'll make a
so
motion to
Mike-
table this pending myself talking to the zoning officer to determine the appropriate sign size and location for a type of sign like this, a historical marker, let's call it.
Okay.
I second it.
I have to tell you, I kind of like the three Ys. I'll just take Traeger's.
Oh, that's
Some
so
guy with
funny.
a battle will get it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
really, I'm not upset. I'm not annoyed, because I knew that this was gonna be the first. And
Right.
the gentleman told me that this was gonna be the first, so I knew,
We're saving you some money at first.
yes.
Yes.
So what I'll do then is this, so just to make sure I knew what my job is I will wait until I find out whether or not it's 12 by 12. If it is a 12 by 12, then I will contact the company. They'll give me what they can put on a 12 by 12 without making it so small. And then I will come back, if I have to come back with the 12 by 12 next one, and then you can put that.
Well,
Me-
if it's too small, you can just attach a set of reading
know,
glasses
like-
to it so people can
You
see
know
it.
what? I was gonna say that, but I didn't want
Magnify
you
it.
to think I'm being flippant.
Uh-huh.
But I thought,
So
now
let me be
folks,
And one other thing, I'm suggesting that you speak to Connie about the woman, Michelle, who was just here, because she has a foundry that is considering doing the plaque for the
well,
his,
I
Good
could see
idea,
that she would
Di.
want maybe use
So-
the same one.
well, or you may want to use hers.
That's
It
okay.
may be cheaper.
Yeah.
Right? So,
And that's right.
yes, okay.
So again, you're gonna let me know.
I'm gonna let you know.
Okay, and if it is 12 by 14, then I'm just gonna come back next time and say, this is what I want. However, I will talk to Michelle. I'll find out what her number is. And, but I will be back either with a 12 by 14 or a 12 by.
All right, so motion's been made and seconded to table this application pending Mike Simonson reviewing this with the zoning officer to determine or get input on the appropriate size and location of a sign for historic property.
And again, I'm not upset because I knew this was the first one. And so you want to make sure it's right.
Mhm.
And I get it. That's why we try to do it.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, Connie,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
and Nick.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Jeremy,
So-
motion?
I just
I
have,
move.
I have a communication I just wanted to share.
Oh, that's right.
I'll go through it quick. This is from Steph
Speak into
Agello.
the mic.
I have a communication I
record
want to, yeah, this is on record. Communication I want to share. This is from Stephanie Agello, who is the World Heritage Coordinator from the city of Bethlehem. And she sent us an email. I know not everyone was copied, so that's why I wanted to read it. It was just, good afternoon. I would like to provide you a brief update on the plaque installation that took place today. We had to make a change in the location. Present at the installation were the property owner, Dan Seuss, Reverend Janelle Rice, Hank Barnett, Charlene Donchez Mowers, new site manager, Dr. Catherine Fall, representatives of Moravians University, and several facilities personnel. Fast Sign sent a wonderful technician over that was extremely knowledgeable, experienced, and kind. He worked for quite some time to attempt to move the National Historic Landmark plaque. It was determined that epoxy had been used around the attachments that were drilled into the mortar. He became concerned that forcing the removal might cause the integrity of the NHL sign to be compromised. He did not want to risk ruining the plaque. Therefore, the decision was made and agreed upon by all those present that the World Heritage plaque would not be able to be centered with the NHL plaque on the center brick arched panel. Instead, it was agreed to be installed in the center of the left arched brick portion of the church. There's a picture attached. There is much more visibility from Main Street at this location. We decided not to put it to the right of the NHL sign because it would be hidden from view. The sign is completely fastened into the mortar. So we're very excited about officially unveiling the plaque on Saturday. and there's festivities starting at noon. And then there's a picture of the plaque, just so you guys have an awareness of where the World Heritage plaque was installed on the wall. They originally had wanted to put the location a little further down, but they went with that, and it's a standard World Heritage plaque. There was nothing really for us to review or anything like that.
Good job. Prominent,
Yeah.
visible.
Yep.
Nice of them to let us know.
Just so everybody's aware. That's all I had.
Okay, motion has been made to adjourn. Second,
I will second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Who's gonna say no? No, you want to say
Gotta
no.
make it official. 6:41.
Thank you, miss.
Wait,
I
can
know.
I-